this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen vs. the World. I'm Septum Sen, this is Kotobuki Jake, and we're here to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started. We've only got about 5 that we're showing this week. I got a couple that are, it's technically more than 5, but some of them are like multiple entries. Much like you had done the 2 criterions as 1 entry for yours, I will be doing a couple that are multiple entries here.
Okay.
So, it happens occasionally.
Yes.
I think you've done that too occasionally, where you've had
Yes.
multiple volumes as an entry. So, the first is from way back on these Winter and Black Friday sales. I went ahead, and you saw me bring up Annabelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I had to get the prequel, Annabelle Creation. That was $5. Very complex right there. It's got a decent number of special features. Got a couple of those. This is why I don't get the... this is why we don't turn our phones on. But this is why I don't... as far as I'm concerned, that's why I don't get the ones that are the big collections, because they come sans bonus features. What the heck? So then, of course, the new one that came out this year, which I may watch in time for our 2019 video next week. I doubt
Something to look forward to.
Annabelle Comes Home. Which again has some decent stuff.
Well,
It's
you know
cool.
it's going
Like, it
to
has
be a
the
top 10
slipcover.
film for you.
Oh yeah, obviously. Maybe top like 40. Alright.
Have you reached 40 yet?
I don't know. I haven't counted them up.
Oh, okay.
You might be doing a lot more. I don't know who's seen the most movies this year, but we'll
I
find
know
out
I'm
soon.
over 55. Okay. So, my first one, actually, if I'm not much mistaken, I think these are arranged in a certain way. Yes. I'm actually going to lead off with 3 what you might call documentaries, although a couple of them are more music themed. And the first of these is Celtic Woman, A New Journey, live at Slane Castle, Ireland.
Oh, that's cool.
It's basically a concert film, but it just looks like it's probably going to be some really great music, and that's certainly worth looking. My overarching theme, of course, for this week is library pickups. So these were all very cheap, and so there's going to be good stuff.
I used to love Lorena McKenna when I was in high school.
Oh, she's great. She's not part of this group, but, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Same basic
still.
idea. Actually, yeah, you got Chloe Agnew, Orla Fallon. Haley Westenra is one that I've heard. Yes. Lisa Kelly. And this one is Gaelic, so I'm probably going to butcher it, but Milni Malchlach.
So you could have put this
Something
up
like that.
for the next Movies Galore.
Those are the vocalists. Solo fiddle, Mayre Nesbitt, etc., etc. There's pictures
Actually-
of them in the back.
You know, that might be an interesting one
What's
for
up?
musical interlude concerts.
Yeah,
Concerts might be interesting.
right.
So, but yeah, if you want a bit of Inside Ball, you hear it first here. Is Inside Movies Galore's next theme is going to be, what do you call it, musical march? Or what
No,
is it?
it's
Music Lovers March?
Music Lovers March. And the idea is It's going to be a celebration, which they actually did something like this at the Oscars last night, and I was like, all right. And then, of course, Screen Junkies complained about it, and I was like, ugh. But at any rate, no, not to get any hate from Screen Junkies, sorry about that, but but basically, the idea is celebrating the use of music in film, that category that I'm like, they need to have. And so it's going to include...
Like that one.
Well, it could. But it's going to include musicals, it's going to include concert documentaries and music documentaries. It's going to include movies from people who know how to put together a kick-ass soundtrack.
And you, our fair audience, will be
Yes.
the ones to determine, out of what we've thrown out there,
Yes.
which ones will be talked about.
But not for a couple weeks.
But not for a couple weeks. It'll be the last week of... It'll be the week before last of February, so that we can have the full lineup announced and ready for our last show of the month, which will take place on the 25th.
Is that the one that's my birthday theme?
That's your birthday.
Okay, so that will also be a heavily music-themed one because we're doing a
Good to start
dual...
off that way, yeah.
We're going to do a dual discussion of Sullivan's Travels and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
So, speaking of some interesting films, but not necessarily musical, something by somebody who we have been talking about earlier, who did Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
Oh,
Okay, this is the film Genius Party and Genius Party Beyond, also
Those
that went on
films?
sale.
oh.
So, of course, it was by the Animation Element Studio 4, did Mind Game and MFKZ. And two extraordinary projects with shared simple vision to take an all-star team of some of the best animators working in anime today and give each free rein to tell a unique short story built around the spirit of creativity. The results are Genius Party and Genius Party Beyond, two animated anthology films featuring contributions from director Shoji Kawamori, Shinichiro Watanabe, ooh, that's a good one right there, Masaki Yuasa, Mahiro Maeda, and many others.
Very cool.
So this is going to be pretty cool there. It's the first time this is available in North America, so it's kind of cool. I'd like to think that films such as Night is Short, Walk On Girl things, and some of these other ones that have gotten to be very popular lately have actually led to these things getting released. I mean, G-Kids
Could be.
getting these releases. It's just kind
But
of cool.
that's not that old, is it?
Not super old. Let me see. When is the...
Well, I don't
Well, of course,
know if
this was
Yeah.
released sometime in the past, I'm sure.
well, yeah.
I mean, it can't be
Okay.
released in the future, right?
All right, so my next one is more of a straight-up documentary, and I don't know much about this, but it looks very interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's called Waking Sleeping Beauty. And it basically is, it says, far from a fairy tale, Waking Sleeping Beauty is an unprecedented, eye-opening look at the conflict, drama, and tension that ushered in the second chapter of Disney's animation legacy, a decade of unparalleled creativity that included Little Mermaid, The Beauty and the
Oh,
Beast,
cool.
Aladdin, and the Lion King. So essentially, it's about the what they call the Disney Renaissance of the early '90s, which sounds like a very interesting theme. And I had never heard of this when I saw it, but I saw it and I was like, I gotta get that.
Nothing wrong with getting a cool documentary.
I know.
You know how much they're selling copies of American Factory right now for the screeners? 160 to 170 bucks.
And it has this lithograph that's apparently supposed to be rather collectible as well. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, American Factory is one that I really wish
Oh, that was a good one.
I really wish that they would. I'm not sure that Netflix is going to bother with a physical on it, much like Icarus.
Probably not.
Like I say, right now screeners are 160 bucks on eBay. because I was like, oh, I'll take a look, but I'll give it some time. As the Oscars go off, more people are going to want to dump their screeners, so I'll probably end up getting a hold of one of those because I doubt it will release. Marriage Story, however, I do think will eventually see a release on DVD.
I think so. I think they're more likely to try to market something like that on physical.
It's their documentaries that they would
Right.
be. So I've got 2 on here that were actual projects that I helped fund. And one now and one at the end. And you're going to get to see both of those, but they're separated by anime in between, to lighten things up. But this first one, I know you're familiar with the original because we covered it on our Horrorween month. And so next year for Horrorween, we'll have to cover part 2 of 1031.
Isn't that something? This has just as cool a cover, huh?
It does. I actually could have gotten this back in November, but they said if you want this limited edition, what do they call these things?
Slipcover?
You would have to wait until recently. And it would have looked like this. Which, of course, I got like one of the signatures of one of the people involved on it.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool. It's got like a, it's also got a reversible cover.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of cool as well. So, yeah, that's whatever way you want it. But I like having the signature on it, so I probably will leave that up front. Even though I do think the other cover looks creepier. But that's, a sexier cover. With the sexy lips, blowing the jack-o'-lantern. So, But it's, I mean, if you aren't familiar with the original, go back and check out our Halloween episode that we covered it. I think it was the last episode, too, because we tried to cover it. It was 1031 covered on 1031.
Right.
And it was a really cool thing. We fought Dr. Streaming. We beat him, but he is back again, unfortunately. As some of you might have noticed, he came back and reviewed my copy of Camp Blood 8.
Well, now that Netflix is winning Oscars for acting, it's going to be hard to fully stamp out that pesky streaming.
Yeah, I think he was behind half of it. I mean, I believe he owns half of Netflix, so you gotta be careful.
Wouldn't surprise me.
But it's cool having this. I do have a digital copy of this. I've had it for a while, but I'm just gonna hold off. I want to watch it at around Halloween time, which is where this is gonna go.
All right. So, my next up is another variation on the non-fiction DVD theme, and this is not a concert video but music videos. And it's a really nice looking set from one of the supposed premier artists of music. It's U2, the best of 1990 to 2000.
Ah, pretty cool.
And like I said, that's a pretty nice looking set, pretty solid. And it, opens up to, there's a little booklet and a couple of discs in there. Just kind of nice.
Doesn't hurt to have some U2 in there.
No, it doesn't. And this has some good stuff on it. We've got Even Better Than the Real Thing, Mysterious Ways, Beautiful Day, Electrical Storm 1, Miss Sarajevo, Stay, Stuck in a Moment You Can't Get Out of, Gone, Until the End of the World, The Hands That Build America, Discotheque, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, Staring at the Sun, Numb, and The Fly. So, for the most part, this was one of their lower sections of their career, but I always liked Beautiful Day. I thought that was a good one. Hands That Build America, of course, was their contribution to Gangs of New York, which didn't help the movie much when the Oscars came. Oh, interesting trivia from last night. Martin Scorsese became the first director ever to have 2 movies nominated in the double digits that went home empty-handed. Kind of a sad record to make, but anyway. But this looked really cool, and I was like, I gotta pick that up,
It's a record you can only really make if you are an acclaimed director.
Yes.
Because one of the few times where you will be like, yeah, the film isn't necessarily one to win, but we really need to put his film up here.
Yes. Yeah.
So, we talked about some remakes and all of that not too long ago with the Hunter x Hunter release. Mm-hmm. Well, I've got another one. It's not really a remake, but I feel like a revival. And that is Dragon Ball Super. Now, I have not shown it for a while, but I recently got the last volume. So I said, you know what? I've been slacking. So I haven't shown any of my Dragon Ball Super pickups since for a while now. So I'm just going to show them off here at a bit. So we've got 7. You got a picture of Gohan there, it looks like. Yeah, he didn't have the scar there, so it's definitely Gohan. We got 8, which is a picture of the female Super Saiyan. There. I don't even know what her name is. I have not watched any of Dragon Ball Super. I've only watched the movies, the 2 that they cover at the very beginning. So I have no idea what it's like after that. Then, of course, we have this one where this guy is supposed to be like one of the big tough guys. He's supposed to be tougher than Goku in many ways. Apparently Frieza has a huge part in this thing. But then, of course, we have the last volume, which completes its 131 episode run. Of course, apparently the series does keep going beyond this in the manga. I think it's still going in the manga, but the cartoon has taken a hiatus of sorts.
Oh, okay.
So technically it may not be over, but for the time being, this completes the run.
Very nice.
And, essentially what it says is that GT doesn't exist. We're picking up from Z and just pretend GT doesn't exist, La 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 la.
All right. So, along the lines of remakes, reboots, and whatever, this is actually an original film, but it's one that did get a high-profile remake recently, and we, I believe, mentioned it. I want to say on Movies Galore. It might have been on this channel very recently, and that is the old John Waters film Hairspray.
I never saw the original, just the remake.
Which features a very intriguing cast. You got Sonny Bono, Divine, Ricky Lake, Jerry Stiller, a whole bunch of random people on there. I have not seen this one myself. I've seen some John Waters, and there's some unusual filmmaking there, but some of them are pretty entertaining, and I will give the guy this. He's a native of Baltimore who loves his city and does for Baltimore what Woody Allen does for New York and that sort of thing. And I've heard this is a really good one, so I'll have to give it a go.
Well, the remake was good.
Yeah.
That's the one that had John
Travolta,
Travolta as the mother?
Yes.
That was good makeup, too. So this is the last one. This one was a project that had a lot of controversy around it because of how it was made. But it finally got released, and that is the movie In Search of Darkness, A Journey into Iconic 80s Horror. And it is exactly as it is. It's interviews with a lot of horror icons. And you can see John Carpenter back there, and a few others as it goes. And one of the people who was marketing this a lot was James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. Now, this thing cost like 60 some as a buy-in, and then the first few that got sent out, they were so cheaply made that they were falling apart. The discs, the art wasn't even staying on the discs, and it wasn't even playing on most formats. So then they said, okay, let's take it back. But then the factory in China, then you had to worry about the coronavirus, which is delaying a lot of people who are printing in China, and then there were more delays. And then the digitals didn't get out to everybody. It was just one heck of a crap show. Now, I've watched half of this. It's a very long one. It's 240 minutes long. So I've watched about half. It's really good so far. I've really enjoyed it. But I also get some stuff with that. I got my name in this, which is kind of cool. I've also got a postcard that I kind of just stuck in with this, which is also pretty cool. I mean, I grew up with 80s horror. I didn't watch a lot. Well, that's not true. I ended up watching a lot of it inadvertently. I didn't really like it back then, but I did watch it. You get this iconic pen, and you get a poster, which has which is a pretty decent sized poster.
Nice.
That has the thing. I'm not going to unfurl it here, but I'm going to eventually put it up on my wall. So it's just kind of cool. I really do enjoy documentaries like this, and this looks like it's going to be a fun one. So far, I watched half, and the first half is really good.
Okay.
You like 80s horror, you find this, you'll enjoy it.
Good deal. And my last one is one that had a little bit of controversy around it too, mainly because it was based on a dark and gritty series from Frank Miller that was not without its share of controversies. And but it's a really, I've always been very fond of this film. I am not truly upgrading format-wise because I already had it on DVD. And this, unfortunately, is DVD, but it's such a cool set. I had to go for it. And that, of course, is Frank Miller's Sin City recut, extended, and unrated version,
Oh, cool.
which was co-directed by Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, with one scene was directed by Quentin Tarantino. But you got this slips out of the case, and you've got, a couple of discs. But then, this is one of the coolest features. It actually comes with a very nice little book that's a reprint of one of the Sin City books that the film is based on, The Hard Goodbye.
That's cool.
So that's actually a really nice little feature there.
If you want to do a comparison of what the plain version looks like.
I think this may be the version I have. You got Jessica Alba and Bruce Willis there on the cover. And it's a nice edition. So basically, if you are not familiar with this one, I mean, we'll look a little bit. This is what the art style of the comics was like. It's very spare. It's very harsh, black and white. A lot of very still frame images, a lot of falling rain, that sort of thing. With the film, they filmed it almost entirely on green screen, and there was a lot made of that when it came out. But recently, I've been watching and reading a lot on Rodriguez because of our much ballyhooed discussion on the Mexico trilogy that still hasn't happened, but supposed to happen this week.
Let's go say it today.
Supposed to happen today, yes. But Rodriguez is a proud defender of low-budget cinema. He tries very hard to make things very cheap, and he's very good at it. And he's really good with special effects. So they actually made this film for much less than someone like James Cameron probably would have tried to do. But it's almost entirely shot on green screen. It's mostly black and white with just a few particular bits of color. And it featured phenomenal performance from Mickey Rourke, strong performances from the likes of Bruce Willis, Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood, creepy-ass role from Elijah Wood, Jessica Alba, all kinds of people are in this one. Benicio del Toro. They wanted to make did they ever end up they did do the sequel, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I never did get to see that.
One,
I need to Dame to Kill For, I think it was called. This one, I think, brought 3 of the books together, and I think A Dame to Kill For did the same thing. But I just saw this, I was like, this is such a cool set. I gotta get that set. So, I want to have it one day on Blu-ray, but I'll probably keep this edition regardless. Maybe I'll find a Blu-ray 2-pack that has both movies.
Actually, there is one. Well, that's not a U.S. one, though.
What happened?
There is a Sin City Steelbook. That's a pretty cool looking Steelbook, though.
That is kind of cool, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you never know. There's there's definitely one that has both on it, but is it that cut? That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, I hope you've enjoyed this. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. And, of course, share your stuff because it's always good. We're almost at 200 subscribers.
All right.
It's been a slow going, but we are making it, and our people are the best people. At least that's what we like to think.
Right.
So, have a great one, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.